Hello, welcome back to Suburban Hunt 365. I am DJ, and in this video we're going to be digging a little bit deeper into the last two videos that we've done, which, if you didn't catch that, we're doing the Hornady ELD-X 340 grain gel test. So what we did in the first video was we did 50 yards, 777, 100, and 150 grain charge, and then second video we pushed that out to 100 yards to see how it reacted, again with the 777, 100, and 150 grain charge. So if you haven't seen those videos, by all means follow the links above and you can go check those videos out. But one of the comments that was made several times on both of those videos was the fact that we didn't catch the core. So basically what I'm calling the core is when the bullet goes into the gel block and it expands. Some of the bullets, it makes a nice mushroom shape or it squishes down. There's different characteristics to it. Well, with this one, all we could really see is that some of the jacketing and a little bit of the lead kind of shredded away from what I'm calling the core of that bullet. So it made an awesome wound channel in some instances, but all of them went out the back of the 16-inch block. And as luck would have it, I wasn't able to capture on any one of the four tests that core. So it was kind of disappointing to you guys, especially since we put so much weight on weight retention that I can't give you the weight retention because we don't have the core. So today's mission is going to be catch that core. Little game, right? So what we're gonna do today, instead of me just sending you out to the range and a real quick pop, this is what happened, and then right back to where I'm at now, we're actually gonna take you guys along for the ride. So let's pack up our gear and let's get to the range. Come on. All right, guys, first thing we got to make sure that we have is the gel blocks, because I have actually gone out to the range and realized that I did not have my gel blocks, and it pretty much wasted the entire day, because as you guys will see here shortly, it's about an hour to an hour and a half drive out to the range. But I do have to reform my blocks every time we shoot, guys, and that's what it looks like because I made my own tray here. There are plenty of YouTube videos if you guys are wanting to get into the gel block scene. So let's go ahead and let's get this guy out of here. And that is our gel block. So what I do is I put parchment paper around the block to prevent any grass or any type of debris from getting on the block while we're in transit. Block one, block two. All right, let's go add it to this stuff. All right. So on top of these gel blocks, what you see here is actually what I take almost every time I go to the range. Now the bottles are a little excessive because of our challenge today, but the tables, targets, gun, all that stuff, this is the amount of materials it takes to do one of these videos. So let's get this inside that. All right, now it's time to go kiss the wife goodbye. This ain't for y'all. All right, guys, we are all set, ready to rock and roll. So real quick, guys, pro tip, if you guys are gonna start doing any type of work like this, I highly recommend, let me grab this guy right here, get yourself one of these. This is a Jackery, or it's a battery bank. So right now I've got the camera that we use and the Rode mics all hooked up, charging while we're on the way to the range. Because like I said, we got about an hour and a half, give or take. So on our way down there, now my truck has an inverter built in. If your car or truck does not, go ahead and get you one of those 12-volt adapted ones, hook it up. That way you can charge your batteries on your way to the site. It also gives you the ability to, while you're on site, charge your batteries. But all right, guys, safety first, right? Let's get to the range. All right, made it to the property. Let's head down range and let's go ahead and set it up. All right, so what we have here is we have the GoPro set up to ultra slow mode, which is basically 240 frames per second. Then we're gonna have the regular camera set up to kind of get the whole view of everything. Now I've got a target here set up because the way that I do it is I make sure that I know where the gun's gonna hit. So if it's a little bit high, a little bit right, a little bit left, because you got to remember this gun is not specifically set up for the ELD-X because I'm testing so many different bullets. So I got the target here. I'm gonna shoot one shot, make sure I know where the bullet's gonna land, and then the second shot is going to be through the gel block. Now most of the time I don't video that first shot up here, so I kind of move the cameras out of the way. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take everything in the truck and we're gonna head back to where the firing line is gonna be, and we're gonna set up our table, chair, and everything on that side. So now that we've got this set up, we gotta go get that set up. And yes, this would have been just a single shot for you guys on the camera if it was gonna be just a standard video. So a lot goes on in the background, guys. Let's go set up downrange. All right, now that I got the rifle set up, I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna open up the barrel and look down it and see what kind of condition it's in. Sometimes with these black powder guns, you'll have a little bit of residue just left over that we want to clean out before we make this first shot. No shots have been fired yet, guys. This is all just set up, just getting everything ready to even start. And then, like I said, I'm gonna put a round down range, see where it lands on target, and then we'll turn the cameras on and we'll see it down range. So it's a lot of good stuff, a lot of stuff in the background that we do, guys, to make these work. So enough of that. Let's go ahead and let's get back to actually making this video. All right, guys, got the camera set up, and this is the part that I wanted to show you that gets a little scary. So you can see, basically, I'm in line with where my shot's gonna be. I have the GoPro doing the ultra slow motion, and I got my 4K camera over there on the other side of the target, and that is where I'm gonna be shooting. So if I do my job right, none of my equipment gets shot. Nope, missed to the right. So it hit exactly where I was aiming. I was afraid of that. All right, looks like we need to go set that up again. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, look at there. We actually caught copper on that one. That's funny. We caught copper. All right, well, we missed it to the right, or to the left. So. This time we're gonna aim true. Gonna try that one more time. All right, looks like we caught it on the, oh, here we go. Let me flip you guys around here. There we go. Caught it on the top right hand corner. So glad I stayed a little bit more windage on there. It's got a heck of a channel there going through. Look what we found there. Let's see if we can see this on the side here. Let's move this out of the way. Wow. Well, that's interesting. All right, guys, I know you guys by now are getting tired of the whole behind the scenes thing because it's slowing down. You guys want to see the actual footage from the GoPro and from the other camera. So basically all I'm going to do is I'm going to finish setting this down. I'm going to bring the truck up after I get all that stuff put away, come back up here, put all this away, and then we're going to move the gel blocks over to that table, and then we are going to dig into what we can see. All right, guys, slight change in plans. We keep having an overcast where the clouds are coming over top of us here, and my original plan was to do it on that table there. And while it looks like there's enough light with my phone, when I zoom in on the camera, it's kind of dark. It's not as easy to see. So what we're going to do is we're going to run back to the reloading room. That way we can get the lights in there. I can be able to see a lot better. So let's get back to the reloading room and let's figure out what we got. All right, guys, we made it back to the reloading room, and I cannot say thank you enough to the guys that made the comments about wanting to see this be caught. Because what you're fixing to see is a lot more information than we were able to get from the previous videos. We got some decent information, but this is just going to expound on that. So going forward, all of my gel tests will be double blocked. It'll take longer to get them out, but that's just how it's going to be because there'll be more information available on them. Just real quick before we start getting into the actual gel block itself, we had a happy accident happen at the range where you guys saw that first shot miss to the left and hit those water jugs. A couple comments were made on the previous two videos about using the water jugs instead of paying the price for gel blocks and such like that. Well, as the luck would have, I saved those pieces that you guys saw inside the water jug, and this is what we had out of it. So we have a little bit of jacketing, a little bit of lead, actually a lot of jacketing and a little bit of lead inside there. This is what we pulled out of that first jug. So it really just pulled the copper back and really is not reminiscent of what we saw in this gel block. So if you guys want to use the water jugs, that's what you have, by all means use it. Absolutely use it and see what you can get out of it. But if you're wanting to see what the actual terminal ballistics do, I highly recommend going the gel block route. That way you can see the actual penetration, you can see the temporary wound channel, you can see the leftover wound channel. So if you have the ability and the means, go ahead and get yourself a gel block. It gives you a lot more information than simply just shooting the actual jugs. So let's get into the block. All right, guys, looking at this, we have 1.5 inches, which is pretty much what we've seen on all the ELD-X tests, is 1.5 inches before it expands. And then with this one, we have about a 6 to 6.5 inch decent wound channel here. This one was moving at 1796 feet per second on this. And as you see, just like before, it went all the way past our 16-inch block, and it actually stopped at the 17.5 inch mark down here. So we didn't miss it by much, guys. It did take the second block, but this is very reminiscent of what we've seen before. We have a couple small lead pieces in here in the first block, but then most of it is actually here in our second block. So really, this block here is similar to what we've seen in the other test, but this is where having that second block really comes in handy. So let's go ahead and dig this out. All right, guys, for those of you that the last two videos have kind of dissuaded you away from the ELD-X, I would say this should bring you right back because we do have this explosive initial wound channel, and then that is pretty awesome. Stuck together pretty good. So let's go ahead and let's see. Let's move this out of the way. Let's zero this guy out here. There we go. And let's see the main core part that we have. 243.8. Let's do a little math here. 70, call it 72%. And with that, guys, those of you that put those comments down below in the previous two videos, I can't say thank you enough because I really did need to put that second block behind there. I was trying to make it more efficient for me to do multiple videos in one range day, but the information that we've got from this two block test is way more valuable. And even though it may take me a little bit longer to get these videos out to you, I will be doing this way from now on. But 71% retention, That's pretty awesome. So those of you that my previous two videos have kind of put you on the fence about the ELD-X, I want to say I'm sorry for that, truly. It does expand the way we saw it. It does have a little bit of that copper coming out of that, a little bit of lead, but it's holding on to most of that core and pushing it right out that other end. So the penetration is there. So if you have a thicker animal, I don't see why that wouldn't work. Anything that I'm gonna do, this bullet will take care of, especially whitetail. We've seen that in previous videos. All right, guys, if you guys have made it this far, I cannot say thank you enough for being a part of what we're doing here on this channel. Thank you guys so much for sticking with me today as I took you guys to the range, showed you guys a little bit of behind the scenes on what it takes to make these videos. So thank you for sticking in there with us. Guys, if you haven't, do me a favor, hit that like button. Please hit that subscribe button. And as always, please throw those comments down below this video. I've said it time and time again. This video today was because of the comments that you guys have left. So please continue doing that. From Suburban Hunt 365, I'm DJ. Thank you guys so much, and we'll catch you on the next one.